Hi guys, it's been a minute. Welcome back. Today I'm gonna have you guys get ready with me and we're gonna talk about finding out how I was pregnant right before the pandemic. If you don't already know, my name is Danielle. I'm a professional makeup artist who hasn't been working for 3 months because of the global pandemic. I started this YouTube channel maybe like a year ago and I'm finally gonna put a lot of time into it because why not? So make sure you like and subscribe and enjoy the video. Bye. Oh my gosh. Hello. It's been a minute and I apologize for that. A lot's been going on. We moved. We're having a baby in like 2 months. Yeah. What better way to come back than I filmed a video of us moving. So I'm gonna edit that and share that with you guys. But we never told our pregnancy story, so I want to do that today while I get ready. You guys can get ready with me, and yeah. Also, this is a new setup. I don't know if you can hear me. There's an air conditioner on and my dishwasher is going at the same time. All the videos are not going to be filmed like this. We're working on a filming room for me, but as of right now, this is what we're working with. So let's get started. So, finding out we were pregnant right before the pandemic happened, it was pretty interesting. I guess let's go back to the beginning. So, if I'm looking down here, you guys, it's because I'm looking in my mirror, okay? So, we're gonna go all the way back to December. So, I put way too much foundation on my brush. It was New Year's Eve, and we had been trying since October to get pregnant, but I was never really good at tracking my fertility. I just didn't know what the heck I was doing. So every so October, November, when I wasn't getting pregnant, I was like, what the heck is going on here? So one of my dear friends, she helped me track my period and for the month of December, and I still didn't know what I was doing because every time I would pee on an ovulation stick, it would say I wasn't ovulating, but obviously it was because I was pregnant. So yeah, New Year's Eve, right? I wake up in the morning and Johnny's at work and I'm like, let me just take a test because it's New Year's Eve and we were trying to get pregnant and I didn't want to drink if we were pregnant because then I would feel really guilty. Nothing against people who've done that before, you didn't know you were pregnant, so yeah. But for me, I just would have felt really guilty about it. So I took a test and it was positive, but it was a really cheap test from Amazon. So I was I kind of see a line on here, but I'm not really sure. So I call my mom and I'm like, can I send you a picture of this pregnancy test? I'm not really sure if I'm pregnant or not, or if it says positive, it's kind of really a faint line. Can you tell me what you see? She's like, why don't you just go to the store, get the test that says pregnant or not pregnant, the digital one, and then you'll know. So I was sweating driving to CVS, by the way, because I was like, oh my gosh, is it what if it is? What if it isn't? I don't know. I mean, we definitely both wanted it to be positive, but you just don't know. So I went to CVS and bought not one, not two, but 3 different pregnancy tests, and I took them back to my house. Johnny's still at work at this point, and I take them and I'm waiting, go back into the bathroom, and they all say positive. And I was like, oh my gosh, just got real. So I called Johnny, but then I'm like, this is not how you want to tell him. You don't want to tell him over the phone. You should tell him in person. That way you get a real reaction from him, you know? So I hung up, and then he called me back and he was like, that was kind of weird. Why did you call me and hang up? And I was like, oh, never mind. I needed to ask you something, but I figured it out. And he was like, okay. not uncommon for me to do something like that. So he comes home from work and I'm like, what can I do to like tell him that I'm pregnant? So I went back to CVS and I got a package of hot dog buns because like I didn't know what else to do, and it was New Year's Eve, so like everywhere was like a disaster. And I just put the hot dog buns in the oven and I just left him in there until he came home. So once he got home, I set up my camera in the kitchen to like film his reaction, and he saw me doing that and he was like, why are you filming? And I was like, I'm not filming. And he was like, no, you are, like I can see it. I'll upload that video for you guys and put it in the description down below. But so he's like, yeah, you are, I can see you. And I was like, no, I'm not. So I pretended to like turn off the camera, but then like I have to put it back on. So he's like, you're so weird, which again, not unlike me, I'm very weird. So I said to him with really bad acting, like, does it smell like something's burning? And he's like, no. I'm like, well, why don't you check the oven? He's like, what is wrong with you? He's like, okay. So he like opens the oven and he sees the buns and he like looks at the oven and he looks at me and he looks back at the oven and he's like, are you? And I'm like, yeah. And then we both just started crying because we were so happy. And yeah. So like obviously my mom already knew. She was the first one because I wasn't sure like what I was seeing on the test, so I was like, help. And so she knew right away. Then we were gonna be seeing his brother that night, so I'm like, well, I mean, it's New Year's Eve, he's gonna like expect us to be like drinking and stuff, and like we were going out, so I was like, I'll be the designated driver. Obviously now I'm not drinking or anything, but we should probably let him know like what's up. So we FaceTimed him and told him. It was kind of like anticlimactic, which I feel really bad about. We'll totally make it up to him somehow. And then for the rest of his family, I found like scratch offs on Amazon, and it like, you scratched it off and then it said, instead of like a prize, it said for having a baby, which I think I'll put like a compilation video together for you guys because it was actually really sweet, everybody's reactions. They were all so different. Like some people got it, some people didn't get it, some people got it like right away and they were just screaming with excitement. I think I FaceTimed my brother too, or like, yeah, I did. I FaceTimed him and I was like talking to my niece and I'm like, guess what? You're gonna be a big cousin, because at that time she had just turned, or she was about to turn 2. Yeah, because her birthday's in January. So I was like, you're gonna be a big cousin. And my brother was like, what? Are you kidding me? It's like, no, not kidding you at all. We're having a baby. And then for my dad, I told him with a pacifier, and we put a letter on it and said like, hey grandpa, can you keep this at your house for me? Just in case my parents forget to bring you one. And he was like, what? So he was really surprised too. I mean, everybody was really surprised. They knew we were trying, but you don't know when it's gonna happen or how long it's gonna take. And we kind of told them kind of early too, which like we probably shouldn't have done, but I was so excited I couldn't contain myself. I just couldn't. So now fast forward to March, and we knew we could find out the gender of the baby like the first week of March. So they did the blood test and everything, and they gave us the envelope, and originally we were supposed to go to Disney and do the gender reveal there. But people started talking about the pandemic, like it wasn't here yet. So like our trip got canceled. So we decided to just throw together, this was literally days before everything just like shut down. We decided to throw together a gender reveal party. Well, actually my dad did it for us, which was really, really nice. He rented like a hall and we just did it that way with like a cake. And found out we're having a girl, which I was shocked about because I thought for sure that I was pregnant with a boy. And that made me like second guess life. I'm like, oh, apparently I don't know my body. So the gender reveal happened, and then that was pretty much like my last days of work for 3 months. And I have to say, like, being pregnant at this time and not knowing what's going on or like how severe everything is, I mean, I kind of knew it was pretty bad. When people that you know, just family members, just started passing away and stuff, and it was very scary. Like, Johnny didn't let me go to the grocery store or anything, and I mean, I can't blame him. He was very worried. I was worried too, you know? So that was really tough. And for somebody like me who is go, 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 go all the time, I never sit still, it was really hard to just be pent up in a 1-bedroom apartment like for 3 months. So that kind of, well, and being pregnant, we knew we had to move, but that kind of just like lit the fire for us to be like, okay, like we gotta get out of here. And because they built like a COVID hospital literally across the street, and it made me so nervous. Like, I didn't know, there wasn't a lot of information about what was going on, so the spreading of everything, like I just wasn't sure. So it was scary. It was really scary. So being pregnant, obviously you have to go to the doctor a lot. You know, they want to check on the baby, make sure they're growing and that they're healthy and that everything is going really well. So I had a few doctor visits in the beginning of this, and like I just remember on the way there having like a full-blown panic attack because I was so afraid of getting sick going to a doctor's office. And this was before like wearing masks was mandatory. So when I got to the doctor's office, they were like, we want you to start wearing a mask. We think that it's best if you start wearing a mask. You know, we want to keep you healthy, we want to keep the baby healthy. And at this point, Johnny wasn't allowed to go to my doctor's appointments with me, which was really a bummer because he really is like so excited to be a dad and so excited about all of this and loves coming to the visits with me, loves getting to see her, hear her little heartbeat, you know? So that part was really tough and I felt really bad for him. But at the 20-week anatomy scan, they allowed me to FaceTime with him, which was really nice. So that he could like be a part of it too. It's really hard to talk and do your makeup at the same time, unless you're like talking about products. Also, I have not put on foundation, and I can't tell you how long. Cause like, where am I going? What do I need it for? Nothing. I need it for nothing. I'll show you guys my belly too when I'm done doing this. So, I went back to work 3 weeks ago. For those of you who don't know, I am a makeup artist and I work in television. I work in sports. So the MLB draft was 3 weeks ago, so I worked that. And I don't know why in my brain I had to keep in my head and out loud. Like I kept telling people that I was pregnant and that like this wasn't quarantine snacks because I felt like they hadn't seen me in 3 months and I grew and like I didn't want anyone to like think I just like ate a lot and gained a ton of weight, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but like I don't know, I just felt like I had to tell them I was pregnant a lot. I think I want to add a color to this, like something funky and bright. Oh yeah. So yeah. I'll show you guys. I was like, oh my god. Oh, also my boobs grew. 2 bra sizes they went up. 2. Not 1, 2. That was crazy in the beginning. It really hurt really bad. Yeah. Do you know what I've been doing? Which I need to stop doing because it's like really not good for me, is I keep watching other people's birth videos, and I honestly think what's going to be better for me is just going in not knowing, not having a plan. I don't want to be one of those people, and there's nothing wrong with being one of those people, but I don't want to be one of those people that like has this whole plan and then you get there and then it doesn't go how you want and you get all upset about it. Like, as long as she's healthy, I'm healthy, we're all taken care of. Oh, that brings me to my next point. So, all right, have a seat, grab a cup of Joe. This is gonna be a long one. I should have said this at the beginning of the video, but like I forgot. Pregnancy brain. So when I was 9, I was diagnosed with something called von Willebrand's disease, which, if you don't know what that is, which I'm sure you probably don't, it's when your blood like doesn't clot and your like factor 8 levels are really low, so like you have a better like a higher chance of like bleeding out. It's kind of dangerous a little. So when So when I went to go get my wisdom teeth out at 19, they were like, oh yeah, guys, I have to look down here to do this. They were like, yeah, we don't see it in you anymore. Like, you don't have it anymore. You're fine. And I'm like, okay. So since 9, I was like on medication for it. But if they didn't see it in me anymore, then I was like, okay, I guess I'm cured. And I stopped taking the medication, and I haven't had any issues, knock on wood, since. Great. Now fast forward to getting pregnant. And when I told the OB, you know, like, because they do a whole questionnaire about like your family's history and everything, and your history and your health history. They want to make sure you're not going to pass anything down to the baby, that everything's going to go smooth during the birth and everything like that. So I told her about this, and she's like, well, it just doesn't go away, so you probably should go see a specialist. So they linked me up with a specialist, and I've already gone for 1 visit. And at the visit, she told me that if I do in fact have this blood disease and my levels, so okay, they did baseline testing, which pretty much means that my levels have to go up from where they are right now in order for me to be able to get an epidural. And if they don't go up, then I cannot get an epidural. And that scares the crap out of me, because I don't know, this is my first time having a baby. I don't think I can push her out without having an epidural. I'd never envisioned myself doing that, I guess. And don't even ask about an emergency C-section, because I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to put that bad juju out there. Not that C-sections are bad, but for me, it just wouldn't, it would not be good. So, yeah. We're just waiting to find out. I actually go tomorrow for that appointment to find out what what the plan of action is going to be. Oh yeah. And I actually took my glucose test this past week, and I passed that with flying colors, but then they were like, oh, your like levels went down, you're anemic, we have to put you on iron pills, which is not a big deal, but for somebody like me whose numbers need to go up, it's kind of a big deal. So you gotta really pray that when I go tomorrow, the numbers that they're looking for to go up do go up. I wasn't sure what to do with my eyelashes, but I think I'm just gonna do, or like my eyes, I was gonna do like a colored liner, but I think I'd rather do a colored lip. So I think I'm just going to do mascara and fake lashes. So I'm curious if anyone else is pregnant during this time and what your experience has been like and how you felt in the beginning, and if you're still kind of nervous now. Like the delivery procedures, have you guys talked to your doctors about that yet? I know for us, as of right now, Johnny's the only person allowed there. We're not allowed to have any visitors, which is so sad to me because when my nieces and nephews were born, I was like the first one there. I was so excited about getting to see them and, you know, hold them. So the fact that like my family doesn't get to do that for me makes me really upset. And like, I don't know, what's it gonna be like having people come meet her? Do they meet her through a window? Are you letting people hold your babies? Like, talk to me, because I really don't know what to do. She's gonna be brand new, you know? It's so scary. You know why it's extra scary? It's extra scary because you're in charge of another person's life right now. Now it's not about you anymore. Now it's about them, you know? So, yeah. I also started planning my baby shower before all this started happening, and then everything got shut down. So I quickly had to change, well, not quickly, I thought for sure I wasn't gonna get a baby shower. And then they lifted Governor Murphy, I'm from New Jersey, by the way. Governor Murphy lifted the stay-at-home order. Then they made it so that 100 people could be in an outdoor space. So we're like, well, we just moved to this house. It's got a really big yard. Let's do a barbecue. So like, we threw that together really fast. So that's gonna be happening on July 12th. Hopefully, you know. Everything, it could turn again and everything could get shut down, and like that would really suck, but I guess we'll see. Why does one always just look better than the other, huh? I don't know. Ooh, maybe like a fun purple. It's fun. That's cute. Since I am a first-time mom, if you guys want to like drop any advice too in the description down below, that would be amazing. I will take all the advice that I can get. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.